Hello, my name's Alex. Welcome to Big Al's Place. At least I hope that's what I can call this channel if nobody else has taken the name. Welcome to my channel and thanks for stopping by and taking the time to view it. I hope you find what I create and post here as entertaining, informative, of some kind of value. A little bit of background on why I'm starting this channel. In short, it started with a very special dog that passed away 4 or 5 years ago. And when he passed away, I realized I did not have enough pictures or video of him. And so after he was gone and we were going to get a new dog, I wasn't going to make that mistake again. So I was already with an iPhone, and iPhones have already had decent cameras. Not like today, but I had that and I thought, well, let me buy a gimbal. Bought a gimbal because I started watching, how to do cinematic moves and stuff like that, which, I want to incorporate, but mostly I think it makes the content more stable, less jittery, and I think ultimately more enjoyable. So I bought one of those at the time. And then I also bought a drone. And I bought the drone because the dog I lost, he used to run with me when I rode my bike every morning for exercise. And he loved it. He loved to run. And I'll talk about, his name was Cooper, and I'll talk about him in some other videos. But I thought, well, that would have been cool. Have a drone that, will do the follow feature, DJI. Those are the drones I have now. They have their feature called Active Sync. Well, the first one I bought didn't have any of that. And 4 or 5 years ago, the Active Sync wasn't as good as it is today. But I wanted to start playing around with it to make sure that it was something I would have interest in, which I was pretty sure I was, because I've always been into remote control vehicles of one kind or another. So that's what I started with 4 or 5 years ago. Fast forward a year, and my activity in the photography area kind of waned a bit because I went through a job change and we decided to leave Southern California for Dallas. And so my attention kind of got diverted to going through a house that we'd lived in for 23 years, that we raised 3 wonderful boys. And that was an effort. It's a Herculean effort. Going through all that, deciding what to keep, what to give away, what to sell. And so the photography kind of waned. And then got to Texas, and you had the opposite, right? We had to unpack and get set up, and we actually moved without me having a job. So I had to find work, and then work obviously takes its toll. And anyway, long story short, it just kind of went away. Didn't pay much attention to it. Well, the dog I got to replace Cooper, his name is Enzo. He's a Hungarian Vizsla, and he has filled my heart, filled the hole that was left in my heart from Cooper passing away. He's a great dog. Unfortunately, about 3 years ago, when he was a year old, he started having seizures too, and to the same degree. Fairly significant grand mal seizures that last several months at a time. And so we've been dealing with that. He takes a lot of meds. Well, a few weeks ago, he had a particularly bad weekend. Bad enough that I kind of felt like, I don't know how much time I'll have left with him. So I reminded myself that I didn't want to be in that position again where, when I lost him, not having any videos or pictures are not enough. So I pulled out the old gimbal. It was a DJI Osmo 3 mobile, technically. And to my surprise, after sitting for 4 years, battery still worked. It was actually still charged, and took a charge and held it. But The problem was my phone wouldn't really fit in it. It pushed on the Siri button and was always wanting to call emergency services, which obviously wasn't going to fly. So I ended up upgrading and buying another one. I bought the newest version of the Osmo line called the Osmo 8 Mobile, DJI, and it works splendidly. Works well. That's what I'm using right now. On top of that, because of the, my progress with the drones, I know that these cameras have fixed apertures. And so when you're out in bright daylight like today, doing video doesn't necessarily look great if you don't slow the shutter speed down. So I bought a Polar Pro VND. I think it's got 5 or 6 stops of darkness on it, with adjustment on it. So I bought that for the camera. That's working out pretty well from what I can tell. And then for audio, I bought the DJI Mic Mini. And so the last several days, I take a daily walk for 40 minutes to an hour, depending on the day. So I've just been playing around with it, doing a bunch of recording, getting used to the gimbal and all that, but deleting most of them. So that's kind of the background, the equipment that I have. Let's see, is that all of it? Yeah, I think that's all of it. I do have 2 drones I have 3 drones, but I have 2 that I'll be incorporating into the channel from time to time. Both of them DJI. One of them is the Mavic 3 Classic, which I've owned for about 3 years, I think. And the other is new to the fleet. Only owned it for maybe a month. And it's the Mini 5 Pro, and it's got a lot of the same features. Camera's a lot better than the other minis, but not quite as good as the Mavic 3. But since it's 3 years newer, it's got a lot of other features that are better than the Mavic 3. Most interestingly, like I initially wanted to get into the drones for, the active track. It's a lot better. I wanted to try to use it today, but I haven't figured out how to do this and fly a drone at the same time. Because unfortunately, I don't want to crash it. I need to be able to change course if it looks like it's going to hit something, because while it has sensors on it, sensors don't see tree branches, small tree branches or power lines very easy. And I'm not that familiar with the area to use it. And it's a little windier than I like it to be. So I'll incorporate that in the future. So that's it for my equipment, I believe. As far as content, what am I going to create? Well, like I said, the original concept was to document the activities with my dogs. And that's still the plan. I obviously am going to keep my own files on my own network, but putting them on YouTube, Instagram, the other social media networks kind of serve as a backup, if you will, but also an easy place for family and friends to view if they want to. And again, like I said, anybody else that wants to enjoy it and get some value out of it, all the better. So that was the initial idea. But in the 4 years since then, I've become a whole lot more involved in consuming social media content. And having said that, I know that one of the things that's a big deal right now are shorts. And one of the struggles I had when I was thinking about how am I going to do this is, it seems like most YouTube videos are 10 to 15 minutes long. Oh, sorry, that was a little too quick. And I'm like, I don't know, even weekly, I don't know if I'll be able to do 15, 20, 30 minutes at a time. So the shorts are going to make it pretty easy, I think. So I think I'm going to, you start out with doing the occasional, probably going to shoot for once a week, longer form. I don't mean long form like an hour, but longer than shorts or reels. Do at least one a week on some topic. Probably initially focusing on the dogs at first. I think my plan is I want to spend a video or two kind of doing a tribute to Cooper, a dog that I lost. And then shift over to the new dog, Enzo. And then we also had another dog that we lost more recently. And so we got a second Vizsla. His name is Maverick. So I'm going to do some videos for those. I'm also going to do some shorts for those. But then it's just going to kind of be, I think I'm going to add just whatever's going on, right? Whatever's going on in the world, just kind of point things out. You know, I'm going to try to stay away from politics, at least from a picking sides or an antagonistic perspective, but maybe hit some, you know, critical items, informative things. But we'll see. I don't want to be, our world is too divisive right now. But there's some information out there that a lot of people don't know that they need to have. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try that, see how it goes. You know, I hope if anybody leaves comments, I don't know if comments can be deleted or not. I really don't want any hate. So haters, just keep going. You know, if you enjoy the content, you know, and you want to give a positive word of encouragement, great, happy to hear it. But don't be a hater. Don't be a keyboard warrior. If you don't have something nice to say, just don't say it. Just keep going, okay? Nobody really wants to hear it. It's not constructive. So, I don't know. I probably don't have the ability to delete comments, but that would be my inclination if I could. So I want to keep it positive, constructive. I want to learn. I don't expect, I have zero expectations on how well this is going to go, and that's okay. But if you're here and you're enjoying what I'm doing, thanks for watching. Thanks for liking and subscribing. I know everybody needs to do that. So, but I appreciate you. Have a good one.